chat. Better stay up out the way, don't get your dish splat. Stop letting this shit slide and get your lick back. And get your lick back. I feel like I'm JX. J-Way. I'm a perfectionist. Adderall got me restless. I'm gone. Run with a wild crew, they get reckless. Young boy, come up off that neck. Give me that. To the trends. See a lead, be the best.
Welcome back to another episode of Corner to Copa. I'm here with my co-host, Coach, and this is a post-game recap. How you feeling, Coach?
Hey, we're laying the hammer, but taking care of business like we talked about a couple days ago on the weekly show. And I tell you, the boys are heading for team collective cycles here the last couple nights, and boy, has this been a long overdue for majority of the season.
Yeah, it's great to watch the team hit around a little bit. The power is definitely been ignited in this team, and they got off to a really, really hot start in the first inning. I'm glad I showed up early, not early, but on time to catch it, because I would have missed it if I would have missed the majority of it if I had got to the game too late. But the Tigers got out to an early lead with 6 runs in the first inning. Started by I think Riley Green hit a 2-run home run to start the ball game, or at least a solo home run to start the ball game. But they would bat around a nice amount. Trey Sweeney would contribute with a bomb of his own in that inning, and we would kind of skate to a victory outside of Casey Mize having a little bit of a slip up, which caused him to not even get the win tonight. I think he was 1/3 of an inning away from being eligible for the win, because you got to go 5 to, right?
Yep, you got to go 5 minimum. And given the fact that it was only they cut it down to essentially a 3-run game at that point, you kind of figured, okay, well, as much as, he had 66 pitches at the time of his exit, normally that would be more than enough slack to let him continue. However, can't really afford to take many risks. We already saw what happened when we didn't with Kiter in San Diego. Of course, what he did last night was complete opposite. But then again, on paper, this is one of the bottom few teams in the league in Colorado. So can't mess around, really. Every game matters at this point. And if someone starts to lose it, you got to go to the next guy up. And boy, did that bullpen come in and lock it down with 1 hit and 1 walk the entire rest of the way with 4 strikeouts combined.
Yeah, there was no margin for error after Casey Mize left the game. He gave up a solo home run early in the game. You could hear a pin drop when he hit that home run. It was dead quiet in the building for that one. But he got into some more trouble in the 5th inning. Tyler Holden would come in to shut the door after that, and he would ultimately get the win in the ball game. For the most part, the team batted around. Kerry Carpenter nearly hit for the cycle. He was a home run away from the cycle. He went 4 for 4 on the night, so it was a good game from him, and he is real close to hitting 300 on the year. So he's been consistent all year long, and yeah.
The nickname is no fluke, baby. Kerry Bonds.
Yeah. He's been pretty strong all year. He's been a little susceptible to the strikeout and that high fastball, but when he's made contact, he's really made it count. And I can say the same about Mr. Sweeney. He's been on a roll. I think he hit 2 home runs on the West Coast trip, and he got a hold of another one today. And when he gets a hold of that ball, he really has a sweet left-handed swing, power swing. And if he can continue that consistency, he's now up to, where is he at on the average? He's up to 242. And I think he was flirting with the Mendoza line early on in the year, but after going 4 for 4 in the last game of that who we played at in the A series. He's been able to boost up his average a considerable amount, and yeah, we got a lot of young players that are really bidding to be a part of our future right now. Parker Meadows, Trey Sweeney's only 24 years old. Riley Green's a young guy. We just got to get Jace Young going. Jace Young, is our everyday third baseman, and um, he, had a tough at bat, his last at bat. He fouled one off of it. Looked like it's either his knee or his shin, and he was later subbed from the ball game. But yeah, I mean, even he's hitting a respectable 230. Not hitting for a whole lot of power right now, but he's contributing in every way that he can. So we just need some help. We just need some help from everybody else around us. But it seems like everybody else is feeling that pressure. Well, maybe not feeling that pressure, but they're locking in and trying not to give up too many opportunities for us. But yeah, we just got to keep winning.
Yeah, and Casey Mize with a not a year high in strikeouts, but he has 10 was his high, but 7 that he had tonight, and a lot of them were early. I think he had 6 through 3 innings before heading into the 4th where he got into trouble. But that was good to see that he was commanding the strike zone. He was attacking the hitters early. Yeah, he got touched by the McMahon home run in the 2nd inning. But, after that, I mean, from 1st, 2nd, 3rd innings, he really wasn't what we had been used to seeing for most of the year. High pitch count through 4 innings. Getting through the 2nd time through the lineup, starting to get hit around. By the time he gets to the 3rd at the top, all the way through again, he was really starting to get hit and losing some command and walking guys. So that was really, really good to see because, he, as much as we would like to say, like, is there anyone else that could maybe step in? Like, at times it feels like it's a risk out there with him, and that's why they ended up, putting Maeda in the bullpen. But it's like, well, I mean, someone's got to eat innings. We're at our 40-man limit already, so there really aren't any other options at this point. But, if they can kind of just keep holding it together a little bit more, a little bit longer, hopefully by the weekend at the latest, we get some news on Olsen. They were supposed to meet today in Detroit, Reese, Hinch, and the front office, along with, their medical team to discuss what the next move is going forward, as it appears he has satisfactorily finished his rehab down in Toledo. So I think I'm hoping that it's just a matter of, okay, well, what do we do roster wise now? Because at this point, if you don't cut someone, you have to send someone back down to Toledo to make room in the 25-man roster. But we get Reese back heading into this weekend in the next, couple series with Kansas City and Baltimore. Suddenly we've got 2 starts out of him along with, Skubal and hopefully Mize and Montero with that complete game last night, man. If he can somehow continue that momentum over the last couple starts here for himself too. I mean, suddenly this team, maybe doesn't need as much help, but, they're going to be competitive, against the better teams. So, while we love this offensive explosion right now, we get a couple pieces back here and there. Who knows? It's just crazy right now. So, we actually just I was watching some of the scoreboard stuff here, and, Kansas City unfortunately took the lead against the Yankees in extra innings here. The Twins beat the Angels. However, I believe it was Boston ended up winning. Them and Baltimore went to extra innings. So just doing some scoreboard watching myself here.
Boston, that's good for us, kind of.
Yep.
Well, Boston's kind of around us though, but
Baltimore's ahead of us. They're the number 1. They're wild card spot number 1. So
I'm just saying Boston. Well, actually, Boston was a game behind us. So
yeah, Baltimore is a team that's wild card number 1 right now behind the Yankees.
Right.
In the division. So, as it stands right now at this moment, with that game still pending to go final, with the Twins already winning and Kansas City on track to, oh no, it's tied. Yankees tied it in the bottom of the 10th just now. So it'll be at least one more inning.
Okay.
So right now we're 3 back Minnesota, 5 of the Royals, obviously +1 with the tiebreaker that we need to jump either one. But yeah, I mean, heck, if we can get into that second Baltimore series, having taken 4 of 2 combined from Baltimore and Kansas City, and we bring them down, not so much us closing the gap, but them kind of the same thing, we win, they lose as a direct result of playing them. Then all of a sudden during those last couple series, you could have 4 or 5 teams within 2 games of each other, and a couple of them even tied. And I mean, I'm getting anxiety just thinking about it, but that's kind of the trajectory we're looking at right now, all things, considered here. I honestly, we needed a series like this against Colorado. Of course, it's not done. School going tomorrow afternoon, but after some of the hiccups we had out west, where we probably had a game or 2 slip through our fingers, get it going, get it rolling, because there's no off day heading into the weekend series on Friday. They will have an off day Monday before they travel from Baltimore to Kansas City, and then another off day between Kansas City heading out to Camden Yards in Baltimore. So, hey, a lot of good things right now. Offense is clicking big time. Starters are holding it down for the most part. So, it's not about just necessarily getting hot. It's both sides really clicking. And to be honest, I really haven't seen that many errors over the last probably couple weeks that maybe we've been kind of accustomed to seeing back in May and June during some of the other longer slides. So, they're not just getting hot. I mean, this team is clicking respectively on all 3 aspects of fielding, hitting, and pitching for the most part.
Let's take a quick break. Yeah, so the Tigers continue to handle business and hold up their end of the bargain when it comes down to it. These 6 games coming up against Baltimore and the 3 games we have against Kansas City. Not to downplay the Tampa and the Chicago series, but those are the pivotal games that have direct effect on whether or not we get into the playoffs. And there's really just not a lot of opportunities to take our foot off the gas. We're gonna have to win as many games as we can because we can't depend on the 3 teams ahead of us to do what we need them to do, as great as that would be. And like you said, Reese Olson is on his way back, and we're definitely going to need him down the stretch, especially with Scooble going up against the Rockies. We're going to lose him in a Baltimore series and possibly a Kansas City series, just based upon how the projected starts are down the stretch. So, if we can get some, a quality start from him, hopefully I think that even though Colorado is a horrible pitching team, I think that there's something to be said for just momentum and just seeing those bats, those balls get through the infield, and seeing the ball carry right now. I think that it's something that can translate even up against more superior talent. Just having that just what it's doing for the team, and just the way we've all kind of picked each other up, and just being a successful team, because we're young, and we don't even have the I don't think there's any doubt in our minds on any given day that we can't win the ball game, because we're just kind of just coming together as a unit, I feel like. So
they've been scrappy. Yeah. I mean, I think that's the right word for this team, given everything they've had to endure for the most part. there's been some other teams on the league that have gone through injuries on a much larger scale, but in terms of the impact of the loss of the injuries that we've had from those players, I think we talked about it over the weekend. This team hasn't really had that many long-term injuries. The first one before it broke camp from spring training was Gibson Sawyer Long was the only one that was like, all right, well, he's the first casualty of the year, done. He's out for the year. And but it's been key guys out for, 30 days, 60 days, Casey Mize, even though wasn't doing as well before he hit the shelf. Kerry Carpenter was out for 30 days roughly. And then a couple other guys, here and there for 15 days. And, look, no one's talking about him, but, look how much better this team is without Javi Baez anywhere to be seen.
Somebody mentioned that. I was listening on the radio, and they said, "Hey, you take that automatic out of the lineup," and all of a sudden the team is averaging 5 runs a game, the magic number, 5 runs a game every night. And I don't want to. I mean, he was strong with runners in scoring position. He did contribute that to the team during,
He was respectable defensively too. I'll give him that.
Yeah. Sweeney's a little bit better right now,
And the slander I've seen on him in the last 4 days or so on Twitter or X.
Sweeney?
Yeah, the guy well, he's not the shortstop of the future. Is there anyone else? I'm like, hey. Guy's been in our organization for what, 4 weeks, 5 weeks tops? Like, and he spent the first 10 days to 14 days down in Toledo just getting acclimated, to the club, the organization, really, just to kind of get his feet under him, and get some good tutelage from Mike Hessman down there. And now look what he's been doing. Yeah, it's still a platoon, they're piecing it together. And right now it's got to be a matter of, you got to roll with the guys who are hot right now, and it's like, look, Dingler may have felt better today to play. And, Rogers has not been that good with the bat, but when he's had his hits, they've been clutch hits.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to, I feel like probably, Alex Avila, the year after his All-Star year, where he declined from a batting average perspective, but boy, did he have some clutch hits when they needed him to step up. And, and it is what it is. McKinstry hasn't played as much as of late either. There hasn't really been a need to, but he's obviously more than capable. Him and Torkelson pretty much helped carry some of that load, the back 2 weeks of August during McKinstry's 11-game hit streak. And Torkelson had a really good run, probably one of the better runs since, this time last year, where he went on a home run tear. He's not really hitting as many home runs on pace this time in that bracket compared to last year. 1 for 4 tonight with a single run scored, RBI, 2 strikeouts to boot. Obviously, I think what's helping a lot of the young guys and those have been acquired in trade in July is the fact that they're in a playoff race. They're not just thinking like, okay, I got to show up to try and improve that I belong for next year. Now they're collectively in for the same cause, and it's kind of put some of those nerves of, will I make it next year, at least on the back burner, on low. They're not really thinking about it because all of a sudden they're, everything's starting to come together here a bit. So, but as much as we would love to sit here and say, hey, we're gonna take the next 3 series from those other 2 teams ahead of us, it's still 1 game at a time. That's all we can be thinking about. Really, they can be thinking about 1 game at a time. Skubal on the mound tomorrow. I think that's why you saw the 3 better relievers out of the pen tonight, because to make sure to lock it down, because nobody got used the night before with Montero. And frankly, with Skubal, I mean, dare I say he no-hits them? I mean, that would be crazy.
Whoa, that's strong. That's strong.
I mean, hey, if Montero can go, he faced the minimum with a double play. He didn't record a no-hitter, obviously, but
27.
or 28. Sorry, he did face one extra. 28 batters. I mean, come on, if he can do it,
I didn't know
ain't
that.
a reason Scooble can't have a no through 5 or 6 at least. But yeah, I'm getting a little overzealous, but it's like, the bullpen basically shouldn't really need to be used much tomorrow. So that should help give those guys that pitch tonight rest, especially Holton. I wouldn't expect him after almost 30 pitches in 2 innings to be available tomorrow, strictly so he can be ready for the weekend series against Baltimore, because it's going to be all hands on deck for the entire pitching staff. So that's a very good offensive team, but we got one more game against Colorado tomorrow and hoping for some more fireworks.
Yes. So, yeah.
Let me ask you, what was the atmosphere like tonight there at the
I feel like Detroit has not all the way bought into the playoff push yet. I don't know if it's because it's just the Rockies, but I don't know. There's not a ton. The energy is there, and the last few times I don't think I've seen them lose in a while. So I think since I saw them play the Orioles, not the Orioles, the Royals. So the energy has been there because there's been a lot of winning going on, a lot of hitting. Obviously, we saw 14 runs, I think, when we saw the Mariners and Scooble was pitching. So, but I don't know. I feel like the energy that the Lions have right now and the amount of excitement that's in those games, you're just not really seeing as of yet. And I don't know. I think that the park is going to be packed this weekend with Baltimore in town and the weekend and all that type of stuff going on. But I'm not all the way feeling it yet. Yeah, I don't know.
I know it's crazy, and I think they're almost both. I think both of those start times are almost identical, if I'm not mistaken. On Sunday, Lions have
Oh wow.
Lions have a home game, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes. Yep. Back to back. Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers. Yep.
So if they play Detroit,
I play a little earlier.
They play 12-10. Yeah, I'm wondering if that might get flexed over somehow. The baseball game. Obviously, football's a bit harder to do that, but I wonder if
it won't be football moving.
No. They usually do that a week in advance, anyways, not a couple days or so beforehand. But I wouldn't be surprised entirely if they push that game to like 4:30. I mean, it's not going to be great for either team because Baltimore is going to fly home and Detroit's going to fly out immediately to Kansas City. But usually in the past, when they've had Lions and Tigers in the same time, they've usually staggered it somehow just because parking becomes a nightmare down there. But I'm getting a little bit of, out of the box here on that. But needless to say, my point in saying that is, this weekend, the downtown should be absolutely bustling with energy. And, hopefully we get some more I would expect to see some more fans this weekend for the Baltimore series. I really do. I mean, this has always been a baseball city. I know Lions fans are passionate and whatnot, but their success has been more extremely recent. Whereas, Tigers came out of the cellar back 20 years ago, pretty much in 04 when they had 119 losses. In 06, they went on that World Series run. And for the most part, up until the last 8 years, we had a good about 8-9 year run. So, it's just it's going to be a fun time in the city here for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, and the AL East tends to put on a decent crowd. I know when they the Boston series, the crowd looked pretty strong, and of course they were celebrating. I think they were celebrating the '84 World Series game as well, so there was a nice little turnout. But yeah, Lions tickets are you're gonna have to put your house down to get a ticket for that game anyway. So if you want a semi-affordable ticket on Sunday afternoon, your best bet is to go down to Comerica Park anyways. The Lions got they're far off from the playoff push and excitement. So the Tigers they deserve to be in front of a nice big crowd. Because they got meaningful games ahead of them, and we legitimately have a chance to make some noise all the way down to the very end. So yeah,
I personally would love. I mean, it's not going to happen, but man, if School was pitching that series, love to see him just wipe Jackson Holiday all over the plate.
oh man, is he still up? Yeah, it's been quiet.
Oh, he's up. He's actually been doing pretty good. He's been doing actually much better the second time around. So
couldn't be much worse than the first time, but
no, yeah. Outside of what first at bat, he got a hit. I think he scored a run. After that, he went like the rest of the next handful of games with I think maybe getting one more hit, but it was like over a week or longer, and then they finally sent him back down. But no, it's going to be an exciting series. I think this is going to be, two teams, two organizations right now that are both loaded in talent that's up now for the first year and talent that's still down in the farm system, along with both have a young nucleus with some really good pitching. They might have a little bit more veteranship over there on their side with Corbin Burns, via trade from Milwaukee in the offseason. That's paying massive dividends right now for them. But, and of course, Kansas City, the ageless Salvador Perez, and they've got Seth Lugo, who's been a top 5 AL Cy Young candidate in his own right, putting up very impressive and respectable numbers. These are going to be fun games. I mean, these are going to be, for those that love hockey, I mean, it's tough to compare it, but it's like every inning is going to be a kind of, sit on the edge of your seat kind of moment because you just don't know when it's going to happen. And it's only going to take one pitch, one sparkling play in the outfield or infield, or one swing of the bat. So, and this is all we really wanted. 2 months ago, we wouldn't have, this was a pipe dream. So this is hopefully the start of something, a good run for us over the next few years, and hopefully, send off Tampa and Boston and frickin' New York, get them out of there, and let it replace with 2 young sets of teams that people want to see with stars that should be around for years to come.
Absolutely. And stay tuned because we're going to continue to cover it all the way down to the last pitch as we see what the Tigers can cook up for the remainder of the season. Please subscribe to Corner to Copa on all audio aggregators, and also to Bleachers to Speakers to catch the visual content, the raw, uncut footage as we are recording it. And yeah, me and Coach will be at the game tomorrow to watch the conclusion of the Rockies series. Hopefully the bats stay hot and we have another smooth sailing performance as we head into probably the biggest series of the year. I think that's safe to say, right?
This is the biggest stretch right now. This next upcoming 9 games after tomorrow. Not gonna say that it's a win for sure tomorrow, but it certainly feels like it when School's on the mound. But yeah, take the series 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3. I think that's reasonable. If we happen to sweep any one of those 3 series, that'd be absolutely incredible. And give us maybe a little more wiggle room potentially, especially with, Tampa and Chicago being the last 6 games. But yeah, one game at a time. As much as we'd love to jump to, well, if we finish 6-3 or 7-2, we could be tied for the last spot or whatever. It's one game at a time. We got to keep reminding ourselves that. But yeah, and that starts with tomorrow. And yeah, I don't know, maybe a no-hitter. Maybe a
here we go.
No,
perfect game. Hey, oh my God!
There's a reason why he's already the Cy Young winner for the American League, baby. Let's go.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up on that. Catch us next time.
Yeah.